Okay, I'm live here. Well, I'm in warrior mode today, so I thought I'd make a video, a live stream here, and it is later, so maybe some more people will drop in. Enough is enough. This is what I'm talking about today. All the stuff that's going on is just I don't know. I'm just shaking my head. Like I said, I'm in warrior mode. So my life partner Natalie and I were watching some of Oliver Stone stuff on the fire in Ukraine. Ukraine on Fire is one of them. And then we watched another video by a Russian director about Crimea, and it's called The Way Home. And I'm really getting sick and tired of this media here today. I think the thing that kind of ignited my fuse today is the Washington, not the Washington Times, or Washington Post. Oh man, now see, I forgot that already. Anyway, a newspaper in Washington came out and said something about, oh, I think that somebody should bomb this new Crimea bridge, the one that Putin built, okay, to help the people in Crimea from the peninsula across the straits there. Beautiful bridge, beautiful freaking bridge. And for somebody to say that and go unpunished or not be called on it is way too much. I think it's the Washington Examiner. It might be that one. In any case, I'm going to post the number here. I'm going to make a comment after this video, and I'm going to post the number so that people and give them shit, okay, which I already did. But for them to let some moron journalist, okay, talk about, I think somebody should bomb a bridge, a civilian bridge, okay, that's inciting terrorism, okay? And everybody knows that this paper is a CIA front, and they can't say this right out. This is what they want to say, but they can't say it right out. So what do? They use some moron puppet, okay? Some freaking moron puppet to do their bidding for them. You know what? This is enough, okay? Because everything is just piling up here, and the stuff in Gaza, the stuff that's going on over there, the Israeli-Palestinian thing, the deep state of Israel. It's criminal. Okay, it's criminal what they're doing. And Nikki Haley, the ambassador to the UN, had the freaking gall, okay, to come on and say something like, "Oh, we have too many humanitarian problems for the UN to worry about this because this is just Israel defending their land." No, it's not Israel just defending their land. It's Israel butchering people and shooting people and sniping people and blowing their legs off, okay? And people think that that's not a humanitarian crisis, and let alone the head of the UN, okay? Trump needs to get rid of her. Needs to get rid of her. It's over the top. The stuff. I mean, I can't believe that some of the stuff is coming from America. Well, I can believe it, but it's still a piss off. Okay. And my girlfriend and I are sitting here watching this stuff, and we're looking at it, and we're like, we're ashamed to be Americans. We're ashamed to say we live in this country. We're ashamed to admit that we have such idiots here. Okay, now when we are watching the Way Home, which is a documentary on Crimea, I strongly suggest that you Google that. Okay, Crimean documentary on Crimea. You will see, okay, it will open your eyes as to who fomented the uprising in Ukraine, okay, in Kiev, and who was behind the whole thing. And I'm talking about all these people like Joe Biden and Obama and Victoria Nuland and just a host of people from senators supporting Nazi nationalist, criminal, murderous thugs. Okay, in order to, now I know this is old news, you know, but I mean, you watch this stuff, and because in a way it's not old news, because of this statement today about the Crimean bridge, the bridge to Crimea from Russia to help the people, to help the residents there. Now, if you knew what those residents went through to gain their freedom, the thugs that they had to fight off, the horrible atrocities that these Nazi nationalists were committing on the people, on the state, on the duly elected government. Yukановich, I think, was the guy's name that was in there. And they went in and they did murderous acts and burned people alive and attacked innocent people in buses. And people, you really need to get up on this stuff. And these videos need to get out. And you need to share these videos, okay? Because America is, it's at the point now, okay, where this is a criminal empire, okay? It's a criminal empire. And people got to realize it. Now, there isn't just the Ukraine thing, okay? There isn't just that in the Crimea thing, but there's the people in Donetsk and Luhansk that are being, same things happening to them. Same kind of support from our illustrious CIA and our FBI and our armed forces, supporting these same nationalistic Nazi thugs, okay? Killing men, women, and children, murdering, trying to take over the southeast portion of Ukraine. And all the time, here's Putin, okay? And I'm going to just say this right out. Putin, Vladimir Putin is a prince, okay? He's a real leader. He's a person that cares about people, cares about his own people and other people too. He saved the people in Crimea. He saved their ass and he saved the president that they illegally kicked out of office, that he was on the run. He saved him with his special forces. He saved a bunch of people in Crimea from being brutally murdered. And you know how he did it? By mostly communications, okay, electronic communications, because the people of Crimea basically defended themselves, and they had motorcycle gangs and Cossacks and vets, okay, all coming together to defend themselves against these nationalist thugs and the people that are backing them, i.e. the United States. And see, that just it really gets me, okay, that this criminality is going along, and the American people are clueless. They're clueless, and the ones that do know about it, they're flag wavers. Our country, right or wrong, go out of here. Get out of here if you don't like it. You know, their mentality is one that I don't even want to talk about, because I'll start using a bunch of four-letter words. Okay. So that's you know, that's something that people need to look at. They need to look at how our country supports Nazis, supports thugs, creates murderous acts around the world. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, we got Syria. I might as well touch all bases today. So we got Syria, and then we got the Israeli conflict with them going in across the Syrian borders and bombing Iran military units, which they have no business doing because that's a sovereign country. So these people just flaunt the law, okay? They flaunt the freaking law day and night. They do things that if you and I were to do, we'd be arrested and probably hung, you know? And they got the gall to make rules and regulations for the citizens of this country and put people through all kinds of shit. They got the gall to put burdens on us. It's unbelievable. And then, okay, so that leads to another thing. Okay, that leads to the gun control thing. And man, I'm really going to kick some ass on this today. You can take gun control and stick it up your ass, okay? Because all the things that are happening right now in Ukraine and Syria and other countries, you look at the people that are being subjugated, okay? You look at the people that are being murdered. You look at the people that are being herded into camps. You look at the people that are defenseless. And a lot of them, pay attention, don't have guns. They don't have firearms. And why don't they? Because one side happened to get them and the other side didn't. And it's the bad guys. And a lot of these guns that the bad guys have, like in Ukraine and Kiev and Syria and ISIS, which we created, the CIA created, people wake up. They have weapons. So that's what's going to happen right here. That's what these idiot, moronic people that are screaming gun control in our kids in the schools and oh my God, we can't have this. You know, those people are all paid protesters by George Soros. Did you know that those people are clueless? Did you know that those people are going to be the first ones to be crying, okay, when they come in and take them away because they don't have any defense against it, okay? So the founding fathers of this country had enough sense, okay, to realize that a government would get like our government is right now, tyrannical, murderous, button their nose into other people's business, just creating havoc around the world and then creating havoc with its own people. You know, they're not satisfied. They're not satisfied with overthrowing innocents and patriots in other countries. So what makes you think they're going to be satisfied letting the patriots in this country, or the people that, let's say by patriots, I mean the people that think that the Constitution has some validity, okay? And think that we don't want our rights eroded. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment's gone. I got news for you. The Fourth Amendment's gone, okay? And why? Because look at the way they're spying on us through the cell phones and through your computers and through your, even the goddamn smart meter, okay, that they installed in your, for your electricity. Remember, they replaced the old meters with the smart meters. Did you know that these things can tap in through the wiring on the wall and listen to you, monitor you? Don't think you knew that. Did you know that some appliances in your home that they're building now, new TVs, and of course we know the cell phones are all geared up and wired and got chips in them and shit so that they can keep track of you? And this is fact, people. This is not fiction. You got to wake up. This is not something that like, oh yeah, well, they're not doing that to me. That's tinfoil hat conspiracy shit. No, you know, there's conspiracy theory and conspiracy fact, okay? And this is a fact. And I'm really sick of the people in this country You know, but in a way, it's not their fault. I mean, I realize that we got a lot of good citizens out there, and I realize that they've been beat over the head with this propaganda from CNN and MSNBC and the Washington Examiner and the Washington Post and the New York Times and on and on and on ad nauseum, these tools of the state, okay, have beat people over the head over and over and over. Russia's a bad guy. Putin's a bad guy. Russia's our enemy. When in fact, if anything, Russia would be our savior, if you want to know the truth about it. And so the American people are clueless. But see, it's up to each individual. It's up to each individual to research. It's up to each individual to have their own intel base. It's up to each individual to look at different alternative viewpoints, different news, other than the mainstream media, okay? Because if you sit there in front of all these outlets and you listen to their shit, you're a moron. Okay, you're not plugged in, okay, to the right sources. Okay, you got to do your own intelligence, your own research. You got to watch movies that they don't want you to watch. You got to watch documentaries like they don't want you to watch. Okay, like Oliver Stone, who many people are called, oh, he's a traitor. Really? He served in Vietnam. He's a Vietnam vet. So I doubt that very seriously. So you got some factions here, you know, that are right. You got these the Patriot Movement, and now some people associate that with Trump. Well, some people are behind Trump and some aren't. Okay, they're more for the Constitution. Now, as far as Trump goes, there's a lot of patriots. There's a lot of the Q movement and so on and so forth that are like putting their faith that he's going to do something. And that's really the only reason why a lot of people voted for Trump. If you really want to know the truth, is number one, he's supposedly pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment. Number two, he said he was going to make peace with Russia. Number three, he said he was going to do a lot of things. Okay. And everybody felt that he would be someone that was going to stand up against the deep state. Okay. A lot of people thought that. A lot of people thought that he would, maybe he's not the best person in the world, or he sure as hell is better than Hillary, because she would have had us at war with Russia by now. And the horrendous deeds that she's done and the horrible shit that Obama administration and with her as Secretary of State, and then John Kerry and then Victoria Nuland and all those people, that was a deep state mess. Okay, so Trump was right in a way when he said he wanted to go in and clean out the swamp. Okay. And no, I didn't vote for Trump, but that's what I watched it and I was hoping, yeah, you know, maybe he's going to stand up. He is an outsider. He knows how to make deals. He knows how to manipulate people. So maybe he can stand up to the deep state and do something about it. But so far, I haven't seen anything, okay? I haven't seen anything, and there's a lot of people that are on the same page as me. They have a watch and see attitude, and when he does do good things like try to make peace with North Korea and say that he's going to pull the troops out of Syria, and he initially said that he spoke to the NRA, which is a dubious organization anyway. There's a lot better gun rights organizations than that. But he spoke to the NRA and said, oh, yeah, you know, I'm going to stand up for your Second Amendment rights. Yet he backed down. He backed down on this bump stock thing, which was just a way, okay, by the gun control creeps, okay, in the neocons and the Democrats and the new liberals and that are used, okay, by the likes of George Soros, those kind of people. Now, here's the deal, you know, this, you know, I know I'm ranting here. I know I'm going into a little bit of a rant, but so what? There's a thunderstorm outside right now, and maybe that's what's got me going. I tend to get a lot of energy, okay, when the walking yon come in the clouds and visit me and here in the desert. But here's the thing, okay, is that people really got to think about all the stuff that I'm talking about. And, you know, I'm on chat right now, not one person's on here. But if you are watching this and you got issues with what I say, I'm more than happy to see what you have to say. Really more than happy to, because I can answer you point blank and truthfully. Now, here's the deal. Research some of this stuff yourself, okay? Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word on Ukraine. Don't take my word on Syria, you know. Don't take my word when I say ISIS was created by Hillary Clinton. Take her own words. She said that. So did Obama. ISIS was created by them to take over Syria because they didn't like Assad in there, who was a duly elected leader, elected democratically, just like the leader in Ukraine was a duly elected leader. And every freaking time the United States forms little terrorist groups or big terrorist groups or creates funds this nationalistic army and funds this group, and they use people. See, now if you look at this, if you look at any of these things like the video on Ukraine, okay, by Oliver Stone, or if you look at the other documentary I'm talking about, The Way Home, about the truth, they use people. Okay, and these people are the same people that go, oh, we need gun control and we got to think about our kids and blah, 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 blah. If you really wanted to think about your kids, you'd look there and see what's in store for them. If you really wanted to think about your kids, you'd have armed vets, okay, veterans that are out of work. You'd have at least 2 or 3 armed vets at every school. And this is an idea that I had way before Trump. I mean, yeah, that's something he said, but a lot of us thought about, yeah, why don't we take some of these veterans and put them in there and guard the kids instead of just making it a gun-free zone and not allowing teachers or anybody to have a defense against some nut. And basically, most of the times it isn't some nut. And I hate to have to break it to you, but these things are all set up, people. The Vegas shooting, Sandy Hook, the Florida shooting, the Texas thing. Most of the time, these people are under the control of the FBI or the CIA somehow, and are framed patsies, okay, that end up being shot so they can't talk. Most of these people are not taken into custody, and if they are, you never hear from them again, do you? So a lot of these things are what they call false flags. False flags, in case you didn't know that term, false flags means, oh, let's do this and make it look like the other guy did it. Let's do this and make it look like Russia did it. And they use the same thing geopolitically too. Okay, they use it on a geopolitical scale. Oh, let's Let's do something real bad. Let's use a chemical. Let's man, I can't get my words out fast enough here. Let's use a terrorist group in Syria, okay, and the USA and the CIA. Let's co-opt a terrorist group in Syria and have them use chemicals in Syria, and have them. Then we'll blame Assad because we want to get in there and we want to get Assad out of there. Now, why would Assad do that? I know I'm jumping around, but these are all unanswered questions. These are things that if you're using your brain and you're doing a little bit of intel, okay, and you're doing research on your own, then you're going to find out this stuff that I'm saying is true. And there's a lot of people saying it. Roy Potter, I want to give a shout out to him, and Jake Morphonios with Blackstone Intelligence. All these people are on YouTube. They have the much bigger following than I do. Obviously, I'm not doing this for a following. Obviously, I'm not doing it for money. Obviously, I don't have that many followers. So it's okay for me to do a shout out to some of the people that are out there that do have followers. Okay. I have enough people here that could spread the word about this kind of thing. They could get out there and they could share their videos. See that little thing on YouTube down there? It says share. You push that, okay, and then you start posting it on Google and your circles and Facebook and LinkedIn and all these different places to get my videos out there. Now, am I concerned about me as a person being famous, or people might know who I am or any of that stuff? No, I could care less about that. What I care about is people knowing the truth. I'm a truth teller. I have enough wisdom to know. I've been around the block quite a few times. I'm into shamanistic activity. I'm into all different aspects of communications. Okay, I'm into aviation. I have a handle on a lot of things. Okay, I really do. And I'm not beating my own drum here, but I can see these things are useful to me. Because when somebody says something like, oh, our jets are much better than Russia's jets, then I know they're full of shit. Okay. Because I know about aviation and I know about what Russia has in the way of jets and what we have in the way of jets and what we have in the way of technology. Okay. Now, I'm telling you right now, if this stuff doesn't end here and people don't start waking up, and these thugs in this country, and yes, they're thugs and they're criminals and they're lawless, and some of them have a Nazi mentality. The ones that are running the show behind the scenes, the Zionists, okay, the lobbyists that are in there for Israel. And when I say Israel, I don't mean the Jewish people. I don't mean the people that are like in America, because half of them are clueless, although more of them probably aren't. But that's what I'm talking about when I say Zionists. I'm talking about the deep state, the Rothschilds, the Soroses, the people that are really running the show. Okay, the people that are really running the show. So unless you know this stuff, okay, unless you know that this stuff is happening, you're just going to complacently plod along day by day, hour by hour, and not know that everything is crumbling around you. Okay, not know that our society is crumbling. Okay, that our financial situation in this country is abhorrent, contrary to popular belief. That the police here are thugs for the most part. It's a police state. Okay. Which brings me full circle again back to, you want those guys having guns and you don't have them? You want the government, this tyrannical, lawless government having guns and you don't have them? Well, luckily we do. Luckily we do, but they are pushing that agenda. They're pushing that agenda very, very strong. And you realize if they succeed at that agenda, your history, you're not free anymore. Okay. Not that you're free now that much, but you definitely won't be free. And when they come knocking on your door for some perceived violation, take you away and throw you away, then you're going to realize, hey, that guy with the guns down the street, I guess he wasn't so bad, was he? You know, I would say gun owners have more sense because they're trained, okay, and they look into things. Why do they look into things? Why do they look into politics? Why do they look into things that you might not look into? Well, half of them are vets and they know this country, and the other half know why the founding fathers created the Second Amendment to keep us out of harm's way. And so they watch it, and I watch it. So that we know, okay, what's going on and what's coming up next. But I'm telling you, again, kind of lost track there, but I'm telling you that if you don't get a handle on this stuff, and if you don't start calling people, and if you don't start making your voice known, if you don't start in some way like I'm doing, and my partner Natalie and others, lots and lots of people are out there spreading word through social networks and everything else, trying to wake people up, out of this liberal mindset. Okay, and when I say liberal, you're either part of the solution or part of the problem. Okay. And it just so happens to be that, let's say, a lot of people that are awake and a lot of people that are aware as to what the government's doing, they're not very political, but some are more right, on the right. But I got to say, if I had to take a side right now, as far as people with common sense and people realizing what's happening with this government, it sure as hell wouldn't be with the Dems. Okay, if you're out there doing your political thing, it sure wouldn't be with them, because they're up to their necks, okay, in all kinds of criminality, okay, right now. And it's going to come out. And they're after Trump for one reason and one reason only, is because even if you don't like Trump, they're after him for one reason and one reason only, and that's because they're afraid of him. He's an outsider. He's not one of the crew. He's not one of the club, okay? So they want to take him down, and that's why they don't like anybody in there that isn't part of their club, okay? So it remains to be seen whether he'll be turned or not. You know, it remains to be seen whether the deep state will take one of his children or threaten to do this or threaten to do that behind the scenes so that he has to cave. Okay. He has to cave in. But you know what? Anybody that caves in the face, and I don't care if they're family, and my partner and I, life partner Natalie and I have talked about, if you cave in, okay, if you cave in as president, you shouldn't be president, number one. And if you cave in to these thugs and don't start making some arrests and don't get rid of this Mueller bullshit, okay, and don't have him arrested and don't have Hillary arrested, then you have no cojones, okay? And so, and it shouldn't matter about your family, because you know what? When you take that oath, it shouldn't matter even about your own life, okay? You are there to be a person that is can be respected. You are there to be a person that can be looked up to, and a person that people will say, you know what, he's got his shit together. He's got intelligence. He's got a plan, a good plan. He moves on it quickly. And if you see this documentary about Putin in Crimea, that's exactly what kind of leader he is. Okay, that's exactly, because he is a leader and he is for the people. And I'll just come right out and say it. Okay? But you got to watch what's going on with Trump, and you got to see what's going on. There's so many things right now that are confusing. The North Korea debacle, the Syria debacle, the Ukraine thing, the gun thing. And it seems like all this stuff is coming to a head here, okay? It's coming to a head, and it's done that way purposely, okay? So that whoever is in office, or whoever thinks that they might want to control things, or think that they might want to make things better, all this stuff's going to come crushing in on them. Okay, it's going to come crushing in, and that's what they want. They want Trump to cave, and there are a lot of people out there that hope he won't. There's a lot of people, but I hope they're not putting faith in something that isn't ever going to happen, because I don't know of a president yet, okay, that has not at some point caved, okay? Because as soon as they get in the White House, they get this little phone call that says, yeah, I know you think you're president and all that shit, but you're not really. We're the ones behind the scenes here, and you're going to do what we tell you to do, or your family's going to be in harm's way. Okay. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And I think that something probably is going to happen maybe within the next 2-3 months. Okay. That things are going to somehow come to a point where Trump's going to either have to do something or be plowed under. He is going to be plowed under if he doesn't do something, if he doesn't act. Now, see, it's just coming out now that there was an FBI guy planted in his entourage, his election team, his election committee, his whatever you call it, FBI guy in there. This whole thing with the Mueller investigation is, just as Trump says, a witch hunt. It doesn't have any legs. There's no substance to it. There's no proof. It's been dragging on and on and on and on for 2 years. It's been way too freaking long for these people. And again, they're all Democrats. Just somehow happen to be all Democrats. Gee, I wonder how that happened. All pro-Hillary. All pro-Hillary and Obama. It really, if I did have to take a side, it would be on the side of the Patriots. I mean, I'm Native, okay, and I know what this country did to my people, and I know the genocide that was committed on them, and I know all about the spirituality of it, and I know about raising the frequency and all that, and trying to get me choose a side, okay, right now. It would be on the Patriot side. It would be on those people that are like, hey, wait a minute here. What are you doing with our Constitution? What are you doing with this deal about taking enough is enough? Okay, that's the name of this video, and that's what I'm going to leave it. Enough is enough. These thugs, these criminals, these morons, these soulless people, these people that don't have a heart, okay? I'm sick of them. They don't have a heart. They don't care about men, women, children, animals, any of it. The planet. Why are they allowed to exist? And yes, if push came to shove, I'd be out on the front lines, okay, opposing these people. And if it ever comes to that, that's where I'll be, okay? And I think that you people out there that maybe just watch these videos or videos like mine, and it's more or less entertainment. Oh, that's an entertaining guy sitting there in his baseball cap and dark shades. Not. You should be listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth, and you should be listening to other people's words that aren't the talking heads of the mainstream media. You know how I'm not a talking head? I use four-letter words occasionally. That ain't allowed with them, but that makes me real. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Any one of these subjects, Ukraine, Syria, guns, what's going on with the deep state, what the real truth is. I feel pride in the fact that I've educated myself, okay? And I have educated other people, okay, to the fact that this stuff is going on. Maybe if one person hears what I have to say or what other people have to say, that's something that is meaningful to me. It's meaningful to me. And I don't need a bunch of followers, a bunch of people on chat or any of that kind of stuff. Would be nice. I think people cringe and hide sometimes because they don't want to talk about the blunt facts, the blunt truth. Not even the trolls are showing up. Wow. I'm wondering if I'm even on the air. Probably not. Wouldn't that be something? I went through this whole video and rant and everything, and I'm not even on the air. Well, they say stuff like that's cathartic, so I guess it would be of some use anyway. Yeah, so really sick of Israel, really sick of Netanyahu. He's just a bone brain murderer. Really sick of these people trying to justify that. Israel is the victim here. Really, really. Take a look at their history. Take a look at the malicious, evil shit they've done. And then we need to go to war with Iran because it's Israel's bitter enemy. Okay, so we need to go to war with them. Never mind that they're allies with Russia. Never mind that they helped get rid of the ISIS terrorists. You see how screwed up people are out there? They got to get off their complacent butts, okay? And they got to start doing research, and they can't be like these libtards or liberal-minded people that are like, we got to make the earth a better place, and so therefore we got to take away guns, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, and we got to make these rules and these laws, and never mind that the government that is rules commits murderous acts. Gasses little children, shoots little children up with drones in Yemen. Man, it's just really, you think about what I call the good old days, and man, this stuff, I don't know if it was going on back then. It probably was to a certain degree, but now it's like in your face. It's in your face. They don't care. They don't care what you know. They flaunt it. They throw it in your face. So you're going to end up just like the indigenous people of this land. You're already on a res to a degree. And next thing you know, they'll be shipping you off to FEMA camps. And you'll be going, wait a minute, I got to defend myself. Somebody help me. I didn't know about this stuff. Well, then it'll be on you. Okay, it'll be on you because people like me are out here talking about it. Okay? So enough is enough. And I'll leave it there. Adios.